No matter what path you are on or how long you have been in the Marine Corps, at some point you must stop and decide how you want to be remembered. Colonel Daniel H. Wilson, Major Brian Shantosh, Sergeant Dakota Meyer, Corporal Kyle Carpenter, and Corporal Caesar Lorianne. Each of these Marines left a legacy. Some you want to remember, and some you prefer to forget. Everything you do creates your legacy and will determine how you will be remembered. We tend to base one's legacy on success. But what is success? Many of us view it differently. Some have shaped their minds to view success based off of visual aspects, while others may base it solely off of action or performance. But success is a combination of things. So here's a rhetorical question. You have two Marines who served 20 years. One is a gunnery sergeant, the other a sergeant major. Or one is a major, the other is a colonel. Who is more successful? Many Marines look good on paper but provide no substance to the Marines or the Marine Corps. Success is not determined by the rank on your collar, but rather the impact you have on your Marines. Many of you thirst for that good leadership. Look around this room. It is filled with many leaders and some who are young and in the development phase. But that also brings up the question, what is leadership? And again, many view it differently. But I hope to provide you with some common ground and to give you something to think about. Leadership is when leaders lead by passion and not by obligation. Leadership is when you mentor your Marines without giving up, regardless of their attitude or performance. Leadership is professional, never personal with ill intent. Leadership is when your time is your Marines' time. It is when leaders are not concerned with themselves, but rather the welfare of their Marines. Every Marine is responsible for the development and progression of leadership, as it is the foundation that the Marine Corps is built upon. Many of you relate your first real leadership experience to boot camp or OCS, because there is where you learn how to walk and talk. There is where some of you learned teamwork and saw potential signs that you can become a leader. And there is where you became a Marine. But it did not start there. It started at birth. When you were a child and needed to be fed, someone fed you because you couldn't feed yourself. When you couldn't walk, someone got you to where you needed to be. And in the process of learning, you stumbled and fell. Someone picked you up, mentored you, and you tried again. They provided you with your initial foundation of leadership. This is the kind of leadership that Marines seek from their seniors. They need someone who will pick them up when they fall and carry them when they cannot walk. They need someone to be their voice when they're not allowed to speak for themselves. They need someone who is humble, yet compassionate, and will still hold them accountable for their actions. They need you. They need leaders of Marines. Now, being a great leader, I admit, it often leads to loneliness. There may be times you have to go against the grain and become unpopular. But ask yourself, do you have the courage to stand alone or just walk with the pack? Less experienced Marines are not ignorant. They know when they are not a concern and consider secondary to the alternate. How you walk with the broken speaks louder than how you sit with the great. So again, I ask, how do you want to be remembered? Junior Marines, oh, you're not exempt. You have to do your part. I know it gets frustrating following orders you don't understand and doing annual commitments and obligations and not knowing what's going to happen from one moment to the next. Trust me, I understand your frustration. But since I care about you so much, I'm going to help you offset that just a little bit. So with me, I brought several boxes of straws. And you're more than welcome to come and get one after this. And what I want you to do with that straw is take that frustration and suck it up. Welcome to the Marine Corps. I need you to understand that you have a different mission and lens than your superiors, so you will not see what they see. You will only see what your purview allows you to see. So the next time you're doing something that you don't understand, please remember it's part of a much larger picture, and in many cases, one you may never see. Despite your frustration, you are the future and foundation of this institution. You are responsible for creating a legacy that will carry the Marine Corps into the next century. So before I close, if you don't remember anything that I said, I ask that you remember this. Being a Marine is more than just a state of mind. Many have experienced more of a calling than a profession. Being a Marine is not a job, not a paycheck, nor is it an occupational specialty. It's not male, female, majority, minority, nor is it rank insignia. Those stars, bars, and chevrons are only indicators of authority or responsibility that you hold at a given moment in time. Rather, being a Marine comes from that eagle, globe, and anchor that is tattooed on the soul of every one of us who wears the Marine Corps uniform. It is that searing mark in our innermost being which comes after the rite of passage through boot camp or OCS when that young man or woman is allowed for the first time to say, I am a United States Marine. And unlike physical and psychological scars, which over time tend to heal and fade with intensity, the eagle, globe, and anchor only grows more defined, more intense, the longer you are a Marine. Amongst Marines, there's a fierce loyalty to the Corps that persists long after the uniform is permanently at rest. Woven through that sense of belonging like a steel thread in elitist spirit, Marines are convinced that, being few in number, we are selective, better, and above all else, different. So no matter what legacy you choose to leave behind, the Marine Corps will go on. Again, look around this room. In 30 years, this room will be filled with different Marines creating their own legacy while possibly sharing parts of yours. And if they were to share part of your legacy, would you be happy with what they have to say? Were you the Marine that they want to build their legacy around? So the next time you're standing in front of a mirror, take a deep look and ask yourself, how do I want to be remembered? Thank you.